Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another indie comic book review. Now guys, we have 2 physical copies and 9 digital copies. However, there was a 3rd physical copy, and I'm going to tell you guys what it was. It was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Color Classics, Volume 2, issue number
11, I think.
11. Now, Mike missed last month's issue, and it's my fault. I didn't grab it when I saw it in the listings. It mixed up. But anyway, that reminded me that there's not just one Turtle series out there. There are actually 2. And the Color Classics, if they are true to every single issue of the Turtles' first run, there are going to be about 65 issues. Which is going to be a lot. So I mentioned when the miniseries came out and there's more than one issue of Turtles, I would start a monthly series. Not remembering that we have the Color Classics. So, we're going to give Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles their own monthly series. However, we won't be covering the animated comic. That's based off of the Nickelodeon cartoon. I'll give it an honorable mention. Also, it doesn't come out at the end of the month. It comes out in the middle of the month. So this won't be an end-of-the-month series. This will be probably next week, as a matter of fact. We'll do this as an extra. We'll have the indie review and the Turtle recap of the month. So he's going to be covering 2 Color Classics. I'll be covering issue 33, which comes out next week. And then, of course, Transformers will be at the end of the month, because I believe that's when the second issue comes out. And also Zenoscope will be at the end of the month, because Zenoscope, I believe, has the last week also. I'll see. If we don't see any books for the week of the 30th, we'll just go right into Zenoscope after we get our books for the 23rd next Friday. So that's enough BSing. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time talking. Let's go into the physical copies. Don't you dare use that one first. I read that one. Do the one that I didn't do.
Okay. From Vertigo Comics, Coffin Hill, issue number 7. This is actually a new story arc to the Coffin Hill series, and
very anime-esque cover.
Yeah, and Coffin is really not in this book. It actually talks about a little girl who
it's going to sidetrack, isn't it?
No, not really. It didn't sidetrack. I thought it was going to be boring, but it really wasn't. It's a little girl who wants to summon the Coffin Witch, and she encounters like a stranger, but it's basically her name is Mora, by the way, the little girl, and she sees this creepy guy who is believed to be her father and everything. Here's some artwork, by the way. She meets up with this another girl in the forest, and she actually, she's not a witch, like, her name is Evelyn, and she talks about...
Evelyn or Evelyn?
Evelyn. And they talk about their past, and, with their parents and everything, and it's a really, or something else. And then the guy finds her, and they mention about months earlier how the father was very abusive towards Mora, and how she murdered the father because of what she did to her. Basically to become something that the father wanted her to be, and the mother didn't want to accept that. So she's trying to get her to join with him, and there's a whole big commotion that happens, and basically she winds up at the house of the Coffin Witch.
And then the next issue
and then next is The Dark Endeavor Part 1.
It might play into the next story.
Right, so I guess if you want to follow up to what will happen next, which I'm guessing was a necessary part of it, then definitely pick this up. But I'm glad I actually found it interesting, because I was reading this and I'm like, oh no. But then when I read it, it wasn't... Oh.
Didn't even show the book yet. Good job, buddy. Go ahead.
From Image Comics, The Walking Dead, issue number 125.
This issue...
All Out War, chapter 11.
was powerful. Not powerful. It was strong. You got to see Rick finally confront Negan. And then the last page, which you are not allowed to spoil. If you want to see a spoiler, you can go over to Mike Spider Slayer's page, Comic Book Corner 2.0, where he goes over the entire book. I just feel like this ending was... The end of this issue was so wow. that I don't know where the story is going to go, and I don't know if you don't look at the solicits, but the solicitations for the next 3 months, Rick isn't mentioned at all.
Oh no. Don't tell me they killed him.
I don't know, but I know. I think it goes to another character. Don't quote me. They're not telling us anything. It's one sentence description still.
Wow. All right. So going into the comic book, here's some artwork, and like my brother said, it's basically like everybody is just trying to with the whole infection that's going on. There's like an emotional moment in the beginning where the kid's father was dying, and now Rick, being the leader, is just saying that Jesus reported that Dwight was with all this attack, and he wants to get Dwight to be on his side, on Rick's side, because just to find out what's going on with Negan's team. So I like how he's doing that. Now it's playing into the role. And the swearing SOB Negan comes to the front and then orders Rick to come out because he thinks that Rick is dead, so he can, well, I'm not going to say what he wanted to do. So they have a talk with each other about, like, Rick. What I like about this is that Rick actually gets into Negan's head, like just saying that.
And he gets into his face.
Well, yeah, he's like saying we should just stop everything and we should just, we should actually attack the walkers because they are the problem. And he's saying, you're causing the problem, so, do something.
He wants
productive.
to set up a trade system, basically, with Negan.
Right, and he just wants...
Instead of everything for Negan, he wants it to be, like, fair, to rebuild society. He explains his plan.
As well.
And show this page. When Negan finally figures out what Rick's talking about, and finally sees the light, like what was his name was saying to him an issue ago. What was the guy's name that was talking to Negan? Was it Dwight?
Dwight, or it was someone else, I think. Yeah, it was Dwight. Yeah. But oh man,
that last page. But then just when everything looks like it's going one way, it goes another, and that's what's shocking about the end of this issue, and makes me wonder what's going to happen in the last part.
I am looking forward to seeing how all this is going to end down the all-out war, because, oh boy. And from what you're saying, now I'm worried and hoping that Rick will be mentioned.
Well, they don't.
Unless they're going to sidetrack.
Right. No, not even sidetrack. Maybe he's going to be in it, but we just don't know. They're going to not spoil it. Yeah. So let's start with Dynamite.
Yes.
And we got Flash Gordon, issue number 1 now.
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to read Flash Gordon.
I did.
I didn't get a chance to read a lot of digital books except one, which we talked about on the live show, but we'll get to that.
And this was actually a short story. I actually got through this in like 5 minutes, really. It's basically
It looks like it's a lot longer than 5 minutes with all the dialogue and whatnot.
Well, there is that, but it's more... Well, this one, it first talks about Flash Gordon's, present day, but then it goes into the past, talking about these portals that he opens up. Now, there are
No, it was in the past.
Oh, this was in the past?
It starts in the... Let me make sure now. I want to make sure I get it right.
I'm pretty sure it's the present day. Well, basically...
No, because I just saw the... Yeah, 1 year ago. It starts 1 year ago. And then we go into the present where it's Flash Gordon. See, it says today.
Yeah, so he's on a mission where he like opens portals and stuff like that, and he has these crystals that he's keeping away from the Emperor Ming, and he's saying that he wants to, to take all these crystals, and it's bad really if he gets them because he'll take over the world, and it's up to Gordon and the rest of the gang he's with to prevent that from happening throughout that whole thing. So they wind up in this place, I forgot what it was called, Arboria? Arboria? Or
what does it say?
Yeah, it says it up more on the inner dialogue. It's up more. Right there.
Arboria, you were right.
Yeah, Arboria, yeah. And that's really the whole sum of the book. Like, they're just trying to protect the crystals. And the artwork looks great, by the way.
Looks like they're in a hostile environment.
Well, sort of. And they meet up with these people who, like they saw him as a threat at first, but then the woman who was with them actually said that they know of something, and it's to be
That's where it's
continued in the next issue. So
Interesting.
yeah, I really found it to be a 1-2-3 read in the book. So
Is this Dynamite?
up to you guys if you
I'm
want
not
to
sure
check
if
it
this is
out.
Dynamite. If not, then we're just going to this. No, it's not Image. Alright, I think that's the only Dynamite book we actually have, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go into Image, and we'll go into a number 1.
Yes.
Shutter.
Issue
Number 1. Mike, what's this book about? Because I didn't have a chance to really read too much into it.
It first talks about her and her father, who were like astronauts, and they were in space and everything. Like, it really talks about the origin story, and more along the lines of how she was close with her father when she was young, and how when it was her 7th birthday, he gave her the world and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes to present day where she's an adult now, and things look kind of weird where she lives, if you ask me. This is in New York City, by the way, which is actually some... And she's actually noticed by a lot of people because she writes these books. And there's this one kid that comes up to her saying that you don't write these books anymore. And she was saying because of all the responsibilities and whatnot, she hasn't had the time to actually read all the book. I mean, to write all the books is what I meant to say. So she goes to her father's grave to meet up with her because he died a couple of years ago. And then out of those graves comes a weird and strange entity, and we don't know what that entity is. Like these purple demon-like things.
Ninjas.
Or ninjas, actually. I thought they were demons because of the way it's at a cemetery and everything. So
They're ghost ninjas.
Right, so she handles them pretty well, but there's a leader there that actually knows something about her past, or mainly her siblings, that she might not know about. And
It looks like that guy from The Wizard of Oz too.
Yeah, that
Remember?
robot.
Yeah, the one that was like, yeah, they did a crank
I thought
up.
that was just me. Yeah, that I really.
Okay,
thought
so
that.
at least it's not just you. Yeah, no, that's weird.
That is weird.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not the comic book, just the character. I mean, the comic book, it's actually leading into something really interesting, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading more into it.
Alright, so let's not get too into Savage Dragon, but Mike did read Savage Dragon 194. This book is one of the books that I honestly just read on the side. This isn't a book I normally review. It's just like an enjoyment to read, because reviewing wise, it's just it's Savage Dragon, and this isn't even Savage Dragon. This is actually his son.
Right.
So that's another reason why I really don't review it. I'm waiting for the Savage Dragon to come back, but I will say Eric Larson's Savage Dragon is an awesome series and really good artwork. I will say that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If you read it and you like it, I would recommend keeping it because it stays at that pace. It's really good. If you're sitting there reading this book and you are like, what am I reading? This isn't my type of book. Don't get it, because that's basically the norm for the book. But I like it, and that's why I started reading it.
And this one had definitely lots of action, and it's really what's that person he's facing? It's like a two-faced person. Like basically one's the red side and one's the white side, and they talk to each other. Like basically one's good, one's evil, and manipulating the minds or somewhat. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so basically they had a plot to story. They keep going to the past a lot in some of these comic books. Like this woman that he meets up with wasn't really her mother.
His mother.
His mother, yeah.
Yeah, Savage Dragon's son is from a different universe, and so is the mother, but the mother's from is from a different universe. The mother of the Savage Dragon's son, she died. Right. This woman's pretending to be his mother.
Right, and then that leads right into the
present
action
day again, back to the
present
fighting.
Day. And like he really he gets beaten up pretty bad at first, but then you know, first of all, the person he fought with flee.
He disappears.
He just disappeared and everything. Then his friends come over.
Brother. Isn't that his brother?
No.
Oh, it's his friend?
Yeah, it's his friend, yeah. His friends come along with 2 girls and, yeah.
3 girls.
and
3 girls.
3 girls. Oh, I thought it was 2. My mistake.
Yeah,
3
and
girls.
this was the only part of the issue where I was the most annoyed.
No, but see, here's the thing. He was trying to tell them, look, I have a job to do, duty calls, and
Get lost.
you gotta
I
get out of here
don't
because they were following him, and then they get, well, they look like that they got killed.
No, they're not killed. That's for sure.
Or probably knocked out conscious, and when he sees that, he just goes on a rampage on him, and he just starts knocking him out, and, after all that he did and everything, and he wanted him to kill him, but as a superhero, he didn't want to do that. He actually wanted to do something else.
And then that's it.
And then that's where it leaves
The
off.
next one I think is it's a
Continue.
preview more.
Yeah, and this one I
skipped over that.
skipped
the funnies
over that
I
in the
skipped
fun.
over too.
I didn't even bother reading that, to be honest. So.
All right, the next book's mine, and
Which
it's
one?
Invincible, issue 110. We talked about this on the live show a little bit. So Mark is back. Machine Man, I believe is his name, is the one that trapped him in a different dimension. Mark comes back at 6 months later. First person he goes to see is Eve, who is now 9 months pregnant. Basically, the baby's almost here. And there's a huge, there's a lot of dialogue between the two of them. Mostly her talking, though. And, spoiler alert, sort of, she ends up leaving him.
What?
Yeah, she can't take it. She's not wearing the ring. She doesn't want to marry him anymore, and she doesn't even want him in his child's life. She actually asks him to leave. And he leaves. He says he loves her, and it kind of just falls out from there.
Ooh,
Then we
who's
get
that?
to see somebody from his race. What were they called? Oh, God. Viltrumite. Mark is half Viltrumite, half human. And her duty, I forgot her name. Does he say her name, maybe? No. Her duty is to repopulate the Viltrumite people. She's supposed to give birth to many people, help repopulate. And she wants Mark as her mate. Mark says no, and then we get a very controversial ending to this issue.
Whoa.
Yeah, and the last 2 words from Mark are, oh God, and 2 things. Number 1, if this really is just that scene and we're never going to talk about it again, that was a really unneeded scene for this book and very uncomfortable to read, honestly.
I can't even
So,
believe they added
if
that.
there are no ramifications to that scene in the book, I don't understand why Robert Kirkman would have thrown that in there. It was uncomfortable to read. It was very uncomfortable to read, no matter whether it's male, female, in between. But at least I hope, since it's in there and it's there, it's not just there and then we're going to forget about it now. It was just to make this issue have some impact. I hope that this actually leads into something. It doesn't just kind of get swept under the rug and we never hear of it again, and that's like the shock value of issue 110, and then we go into a new path starting with issue 111. So that's just my thing. Now I want to make sure there's no more. That's IDW,
I think
IDW,
we're into
IDW.
IDW now.
Nope, there are 2 Dark Horse books, and we're gonna 1 Dark Horse and 1 Valiant. Let's do Valiant, because Valiant, I didn't get to finish reading it. Unity, issue number 6. Mike, you finished it. I made it halfway, and then...
I mean, to be honest with you, there's more dialogue where, first of all, it's, whatchamacallit,
Exo-Men of War?
yeah, like it's him and, along with his 2 teams, Ninjak and the rest, who are going after the guy that was in the last issue.
Ninjak, Livewire, and the Eternal Warrior.
No, the Eternal Warrior, because Livewire got...
Gillid, his name is.
Yeah, Livewire gets into after that, where she got beaten up pretty badly, and this guy who's a leader there talks about her about this microbe thing, which is actually a virus that he created, and it could destroy civilization and whatnot. And there's a lot more other things. I don't want to give too much away. You'll have to read and see for yourself. But it's actually playing a real big role in this one. And it's up to Exo-Man of War and the rest to get rid of this virus. And basically that's the whole part of the book, just trying to get rid of the virus. But you know, Exo Man of War is being controlled like, you know, like remember how he has to do what they say no matter what and everything? I really feel bad for him with that obligation that he has to listen to what they say and do what they have to do. It's just crazy. The artwork is really amazing, along with the action and whatnot. But the way Exo is turning out is not really on the good side. But there's a reason for that. And there's also a code on the back of their neck that the leader gave to some of the people, and that also is going to play something in the story as well.
Next, we have one from Dynamite this week, because we're saving Star Wars, and that's X, Volume 2, issue number 12.
This issue was brutal. So brutal. Like, the woman that he has X working with, his colleague, I think that's what he calls her. They do so many bad things. So, like, they want her to say that X was paid to kill and everything, and she's like saying, oh, that's BS, I don't believe that. And they did so many of these things to her to make her actually say it, while X is actually finding his former arch enemies. And they were in the past issues. Like, that guy said, the one with the X on his face, like, he's dead, call me this and that. He returns along with the other people, and these 3 against 1 is not really an even number for him. I mean, that's just really something else. And they unmask him too, to you know, see his true identity, along with the X on his eyes and stuff like that. And they just want to kill him, you know, because of all this stuff that what he's doing it for. Basically getting paid to kill, from what they're saying. So the lady just turned out to be like very different, just believing that X is not who she thought he was. He was actually, you know, because of all the mind control and everything. It's just a whole big turnaround for that one character. And for X himself, I don't know how he's still surviving, but
looks like we'll find out in issue 13.
We'll find out, but he's going to get stronger. I'm just having high hopes for that character.
Alright, the rest are all IDW. Let's start with the kid books, and then we'll go into the last one.
Yes.
Rocky and Bullwinkle, issue number 2. Give us a briefie on this, because I'm sure you just...
Oh, man. Rocky and Bullwinkle. They find a musician. A musician?
Yeah.
Oh, magician. I'm sorry.
Magician.
A magician. Not musician. Magician.
I thought you said magician, too, so...
Yeah, and he's trying to get to be famous and whatnot, and you know, Natasha and Boris, they always have something to do with it, where they try to get rid of Rocky and Bullwinkle. And then there's a thing where he has, what was their names again?
Oh, Dudley Do-Right.
Dudley Do-Right.
There's a middle story, yeah.
I keep forgetting the name of, he has to find a man, and not the man you're thinking. It turns out to be the wizard who was his man, basically. So as Natasha and Boris thought that they killed Bullwinkle in that trap of piranhas, they weren't really piranhas because they don't eat squirrels and all the other
Mooses.
stuff. Yeah, they just eat men.
People?
Well, really men, from what he said, which was kind of weird. So then Bullwinkle tries to save this magician, and he uses the magic wand to actually save him. And he just wants to be famous, so he gets back on TV and he gets featured in a different planet, where aliens watch him and whatnot. So, if you're a Rocky and Bullwinkle fan like I am, then here's something you'll really like.
Alright, and Samurai Jack, issue number 7. How was that?
Samurai Jack, issue number, what was it?
7.
7?
Samurai
Jack
now.
is a girl. Jacqueline. And it's up to him to slay the giant in order to go back to leprechauns to be changed into a male again. And the person that Samurai Jack's working with
was also a male at one time.
Right. And he wants him to kill the dragon. And Jacqueline's saying, like, no, we can't kill him. We have to, you know, bring him to justice. And there's a whole different way of, you know, not killing him. And I like how he actually convinced her, or him actually, not to do it. And just to become friendly with them. And those leprechauns, like, he disguised himself, Samurai Jack, like saying that he's still a woman, but he really wasn't, because he brought back the giant to get back at the leprechauns rather than killing leprechauns, just to get back at them. And I'm telling you, that was a genius strategy that I wouldn't really think of. Because for him to get out of that situation from turning female back to male after just slaying the dragon and everything.
How much time we have? Hopefully we have enough for this.
That was really interesting.
We do.
Yeah, we do.
Alright, finally, Indestructible issue number 5. What did you think of Indestructible?
To really sum it up, Indestructible, there's a person who is out on a hit on the Man of Stone, so to say. After, well, first of all, he saves this woman on a strangling building.
Who turns out to be a groupie.
Yeah. So we'll just leave it at that. So then we get this guy, like I said, who has a hit out on him, and he reminds me of Kingpin in some sort of way. So then there's this special date night that the agent, I forgot what his name was, that offers him, and he could bring a girl that he desires with him. So he calls one of the girls that he actually saved, but then the other girl that he talks on the internet thought that, like, she heard about it, and then she wanted to go on this date, so now he has 2 girls now on this special date. And to not get things complicated, he brings his sidekick or his roommate along with him, and they go shopping to find out what they should wear and everything, and things don't turn out so well after that, because there were these people who were tailoring them, tailgating them, which relates to what happened in, you know, last few pages back. There's also a moment where the League of what were they called? Like they have questions about a woman that actually the guy was behind and everything. So you could actually read the book, because I don't want to give too much away. So they find the guy who they thought that was tailgating them, but it turned out it wasn't the guy. It was an FBI agent. So that is very, very terrible. Because now how are they going to get out of this?
I don't know.
But oh man.
Things don't look good.
Not for him.
For Indestructible. And guys, literally just making it before the timer runs out. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us. By the way, this is the 90th, the 890th, I believe, episode on this channel. Let me do a quickie check. But thank you guys so much for sticking with us. Don't forget to check out Comic Related and ComicFrontline.com. Together we are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. I want to give you guys the correct number for this video. This is officially my 890th. Getting ever so close to 1,000. My 890th video this will be. And, yeah, it's pretty huge.
Very huge, yeah. Almost 10 videos away from 900.
Exactly. So thank you guys so much for sticking with us, as always. We'll see you guys next week. Hope, for those of you that celebrate Easter, happy Easter. For those of you that are celebrating Passover, enjoy Passover. I believe it ends on Tuesday. Hope you're enjoying your Passover. Take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and we will see you guys really soon in the next review. See you guys then.
Later, guys.